Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Kumar and I'm a coding faculty at the 98th percentile. So I'm a host for this webinar. So a very warm welcome to all of you to just join this webinar. So let me just tell you one thing before we just start this webinar. So as we know, we have multiple languages in the programming. So we have very easiest programming language now that is called the Python. Okay, so the overall agenda of this webinar is we are going to learn the basics of the Python is. Okay, so what exactly was the Python? We are going to learn some few concepts, okay, and we're going to design some few programs, okay, based on the Python. And in the last one, in the last, we'll design the project of the day. So before introduce what is exactly the Python is, so let me just tell you one thing. So I have a request to all the students so stay till the end because we have very exciting news. So we'll disclose it later. So now just come into the webinar topic, learn basics of the Python. So as we know, technology is emerging day by day. Okay, so we have multiple programming languages, okay, like C, C++, Java, JavaScript. So why Python and what are the benefits of the Python is, okay, and what we can design. So let me just give you one basic example before we just begin the topic. For example, Alexa, okay, the basic example. So we can design the Alexa with the help of the Python. Okay, there's a multiple code is there. Okay, we can design a long program. We have few multiple libraries. Okay, like for example, speech recognition. Okay, so we can control the complete Alexa with the help of the Python programming language. So as of now, next is, so this is overall agenda of this webinar is first, I'll give you the basic introduction of the Python, what exactly the Python is, okay, and why Python is very popular nowadays, okay. Then the second part is the concepts introduction. So we are going to learn few concepts here, okay, based on the project. Third one is software introduction. We need to design out some few programs, so we need a software. Now, last but not the least, we're going to design a basic program based on the calculator. Okay, so what exactly the function we have to make? Okay, what are the things we need to use inside the calculator programming? So these are the few terms here. So this is overall agenda is. Now, coming to the first one. So what is Python exactly? Okay, see, let me just tell you in a very simple way, a Python is a very popular nowadays because the reason is easy to use, easy to write, and easy to understand. The reason is the Python is a portable programming language. And what is the meaning of the portable is we can write or we can read the code on a different operating system. So either you are Windows user, either you are the Mac user. Okay, so we can use the Python in both the operating system. So question is who creates the Python? So there's one author called Guido van Rossum. So it's designed in the early 1990s. So designed the programming called a Python. Now, what exactly in the Python is, let me just give you the one-line statement. A Python is a text-based programming language where we can write the code, okay, and we can read the code, the kind of a mixture of English words, characters, symbols, numbers. Just for example, I have to print my name in the Python. So what exactly the code is? For example, you have to use the print statement and my name is Ashish Kumar. So you have to just mention the entire complete statement and you got the output. So this is a very easy to use. So I'll show you later how can you create an account on the software and I'll just show you how can you make your first program. So the next step is how Python works. So this is a very important. Okay, the working of the Python, how Python programming works, how can we get the output. See, in the basic computer, we are completely familiar with the basic computers topics. Like, for example, we have an input, we have the output. But there is one pillar between input and the output that is called an interpreter. So what exactly the interpreter is? I'll just give you one example. Suppose me and my friend is sitting over there, okay, but I know English, but he don't know English. So in that case, how can we communicate? So this is the big question. So what we have to do? So we are going to arrange a one translator, okay, and then it's going to translate one language to the another. So the same thing here in the Python, between the input and the output, there is one pillar that is called interpreter. Whatever the input you gave, how can we get the output? With the help of the interpreter. So interpreter is line by line is going to check your code. If your code is correct, you got the output. If your code is incorrect, it give you the error. Okay, so this is the main part. It's called interpreter. Okay, so the Python interpreter is someone who will translate or communicate with people who find the normal speak difficult. So this is the, I just gave you the example. So this is called an interpreter. And one more thing before we, let me just tell you one more thing is a very important. If you want to just know more about our master classes, want to know about the programming languages, so you can just like this video and hit the subscribe button. Okay, just move into the next one, software introduction. So this is again a very important. Okay, so which software we are using, okay, how to create an account, and multiple question is going to become in your mind when you are just going to learn the software. We have to download or not. Okay, so don't worry, I'll just give you the simple solution. What the name of the software? Great. So the name of the software is called Replit, and this is a powerful IDE. So what is IDE? Integrated Development Environment. We have a dedicated space on the web to design the Python codes. So we don't need to download any software on the system. You have your internet, meaning is you can start working on the software. So the first point is on the Replit, we can run the code live on your browser. So this is called browser-based IDE. And this is a powerful IDE and compiler. Compiler meaning is to compile the code and give you the output. Third, this is a very important, the most beneficial point for the Replit is Replit support 50 plus programming languages. Python, C, C++, JavaScript, your SQL, MySQL, other languages as well. Only the thing is, steps are so easy. You have to open the Replit and just create an account and select your language. It's pretty simple. Okay. Now, next step is I'll show you the process. How can you basically create an account? So I'll do one thing. I'm just going to give you the URL in the chat. So you can just use that URL and just create an account. So open your browser and you have to just mention the name of the website called replit.com. So the spelling is replit.com. Great. Now here we have one option here. On the right hand side, on the top, we have two buttons called a sign up and login. Okay, so if you already have an account on the Replit, so you can directly click on the login, or either if you want to sign up, so click on the sign up. Let me just zoom it. Now here we have multiple options, like either you can just create an account manually, you can mention your username, email, password, or the second option is continue with Google. Okay, so you have to hit the button continue with Google and just log in with your account. So for example, I already have an account, so I'm going to click the login. So we have to just wait around 5 to 10 seconds here. Yes. So once you're done with your account creation, you will get this type of a dashboard. But the question is, how can you start your programming? Okay. So just follow my step. We here on the left hand side on the top, we have one button is called a create. So you have to click on the create button. Now next is, here we have multiple programming languages called a Python, HTML, CSS, Replit, multiple programming languages we have. So here we have to select the Python. And the next step is, we have in the title, we have to mention the name of the project. For example, I'm just going to give any random name. So once you're done with the title, so we have to hit the create REPL button. So it's opening now. It's just going to take 5 seconds. Great. So this is your REPL. Okay. So here we have two screens. So this is the first screen where the not sure what to do, run some examples. This tab is written over there. So this is called an input window. Here we are going to use this screen to write the code. Then what is the output screen? So on the output screen, just next to this, we have a dedicated screen, okay, just for an output. So that's pretty easy for us. We can write the code, parallelly we got the output. Okay, that's why we are going to use the Replit. Great. Now, let me just show you just after this, what are the next thing we are going to learn. So this part is complete, how to create an account. Come into the very important part of this webinar is called a Python concept. Okay, so the first concept we are going to learn are variables. Okay, so this is a very important part. So basically the topic variable is very common in all the programming languages. Either you are working on the Python, either you are working on the C, C++. So the topic name variable is common. Okay, so what are the variables? Okay, so variable is, suppose we have a pen stand, okay, and I have some multiple pens over there on my other hand. So we can store all the pens inside the pen stand. Okay, so that pen stand exactly, that is called a container, and we can store the multiple pens in the pen stand. So what are the pens here? Called a values, and the pen stand is called a container. So same thing in the variable. Variable are the containers to store the data values, or we can call it values. So values are might be in the different form. Values are based on the integers. Values are the form of the characters, on the based on the letters, or in form of the decimal numbers. So it depends on the program. So don't worry, this is just quick. We are just going to design the program as well based on the Python variables. Okay, now this is very important, declare variables. So we have a 4 golden rules, okay, in the variable declaration. Like first example is, a variable name always start with a letter or any underscore character. Okay, so I'll show you how can you, okay, how can you just make the code using the first rule. For example, let me share my screen. I'll show you the first method. Okay, how can you declare a variable? For example, suppose a is equals to 1. So, and I just want to print my name. Like, my name is Ashish. And so we need an output as well. So for the output, we have to mention the print function and A. So in the line number 2 and the line number 3, so what is A? A is the variable, okay? And what is equals to here is equals to represent the value is storing in the A. So what are the values? My name is Ashish. Okay, so this is the value. So in the next line, we add the print statement to get the output. So let's try. So we have to click on the run button on the top to get the output. Now just wait for a few seconds. See, we got the output as well. Let me zoom it. See, we got the output here. SMS, for example, A_1. If I'm just going to store like this. So here we have two variables now. The first variable is A, and we store the value. My name is Ashish. And the second variable is called A_1. And we store the Ashish value in this. So again, we have to use a print statement to get the output. So let me run this. See, we got the output. So this is the way we can declare the variables. Okay, and we got the output. Now let's move into the second rule. This is very important. A variable name cannot begin with a number. Okay, so just keep this thing in your mind while while designing the code. So don't need to declare the variable with number. Okay, let's go with the second one. Okay, for example, suppose I just mentioned 1A. Okay, and the value is called mouse. So we need a print statement to get the output, right? So print 1A. We are getting the red line here. So red line indicates error. So run it. See, it's specifically mentioned syntax error or invalid syntax. Okay, so meaning is some problem in the variable declaration. So we can do one thing. We have to just change the name here. Okay, and like for example, A_2, and we have to change the print statement as well. Now we'll check. See, we got the output. Is that clear? So this is the way we can declare the variable, and just keep this in mind. Again, I'm just saying, don't start with number. Okay. Now coming to the third point. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric. So what is alphanumeric? Alphabets and numbers. Like we used, we mentioned A_1. So in the variables, we use alphabets as well, and we use the number. Okay, so you can use it from number 0 to 9, uppercase A to uppercase Z, okay, lowercase a to lowercase z. Okay, so this is completely optional. Now, variables names are the case sensitive. This is again very important in the rules. Okay, let me just show you one example what exactly a case sensitive is. Just look it very carefully. Okay, I'll just take a one basic example. Suppose variable name is called a z. Okay, just look at very carefully. And for example, I love to eat burger, and so I can store the burger value here. Print. Let me just run this. See, we got the error. So what exactly the error is? See, that's the very cool, the coolest part of the Python is give you the line number as well. Line number 13, we have an error. Okay. And what is error? Name Z is not defined. Okay. So, we'll check. See here in the variable, we mention lowercase c, but in the print statement, we mention uppercase c. So meaning the variables are not matching. So this is called a case sensitive. So if I change the uppercase into the lowercase, see the magic. We got the output, we got the burger on the screen. Okay, so we have some methods to declare the variable or to get the output. Great. Now, so we can move into the next step. Yes. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just come to this part later. Okay. Yeah. So this is the project based on the variable. So for example, the cost of 3 apples and 5 oranges is rupees 120. Okay. So we have to find the cost of each apple. Initially, assume the cost of each apple is X and the cost of each orange is Y. Okay. Just again, I'm just going to repeat my question. See, the answer is given into the question only. The cost of each apple is X. Okay. And the cost of each oranges is Y. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let me share my screen and just we'll start to design the code. Okay. So apples and oranges. Okay. So you know what exactly the green color is? These are called comments. Okay, like we are using a social media platforms like the Instagram and all. We are mentioning we are adding the comments, right? Same thing here. Okay, just kind of a highlighting part of. So apple and oranges, and we have to use the hashtag sign to add the comment. Okay, so X1 is for the apple and the Y1 is for the oranges. Suppose X is 100 rupees 100, okay, and the Y is 20. So how can we find out the total cost? So again, we have to define the one more variable here to find the total cost. So is equals to X plus Y. And at last we can print the total. Let's see if I'm going to run the code. See, we got a 120. So this is the answer of that problem. So for the cost of the 5 apple is 100 rupees and the cost of each orange cost is 20. So we can add X plus Y. So what is X plus Y? So these are the two variables which I declared in line number 19 and in line number 20. So we can just add both the variables and we can print the total amount. So we got the 120 here. This is the way we can create the design the addition program, okay, or subtraction program, multiplication or division. Okay, but see, do you think we have, so from the line number 19, 20, 21, 22, do you think we need all these lines to just add the solution? I'll tell you the shortest way as well. So let me just scroll down, just give a one line space, add two numbers. Suppose just basic. So print, suppose, so 7 is my lucky number, 7 plus 7. Let's see. We got the 40. That's why we call it Python is so easy. Okay. 7 plus 7 is 14. We got the solution in the one line instead of the for line. Okay. So this is completely optional. But the thing is, why we need a for lines? And if we get the solution only one line? Clarity. Okay. Programs or code needs clarity. So that's why we go almost, sometimes we go for the first the one line solution, or sometimes we go the four line solution. So this is completely optional. Okay, now we can just go to the next step. Yes, second step is making decisions. That is again very important. Okay, and so what exactly the decision is? So every day we make the decision about what to do next or what not to do. Okay, based on the answers to questions we can ask ourselves as well. For example, is it raining? Yes or no. So how can we decide? Am I a good programmer? Yes or no. Again, we have to decide. Okay, so like humans, computer also make decision by asking questions. Okay, for example, how? Here we have three statements called if, elif, and else. Okay, see, these are the very important concepts. Okay, so I'll show you one program. Okay, based on the if as well, elif as well, and the else statement. And what are the keywords? So we have to keep in mind the short keywords as well. Okay, let's go to the if one first. So what is if statement? Only we have true condition. Okay, either true, either false. Nothing else. True or false. We have to play an entire game between true and false only. Okay. So what exactly the if is? If always execute true statements. Nothing else. Okay. If always execute true statements. And what is the keyword of this? Simple if. Okay. So for example, if B is greater than A. For example, let me just share my screen. So if statement, suppose we need, okay, well, again, very important point. We need two value at least to compare, okay, to set the decisions or to make the decisions, okay. So we need two values. So first uh, variable is called A, suppose 23, and second one is called a B. So again, 34. So we have to first mention the keyword if. Now, after the if, mention the condition. So condition is A is greater than B. Is it true or false? Okay, let's do one thing. Python will decide. So I get the one print statement here. Okay, if A is greater than B, so I just want to print this message. I love to eat burger. I want to print this message if A is greater than B. Let's see if it's work or not. See, we are not getting the solution. We're not getting the output. Meaning is this is false condition because A is 23 and B is 34. But as per the condition is A is greater than B. This is wrong condition. So what we can do? This one. So we can just change the sign. Now A is smaller than B. So meaning is this one is true. So this is the way how Python decide. Okay. And it's easy for us as well to just make the decisions. How can you print the statement using the if and else conditions? Now just move into the next step called the elif. Okay. So for this, elif is going to behave as like a helping hand for us. Okay. Like for example, suppose if the previous condition is false, like so the if condition is false. So in that case, what we have to do? So in that case, we have to mention the elif statement. I'll give you the example. So the keyword is called a simple elif. For example, uh, let me share my screen again. Now go with the elif. So we need a two value, suppose 33 and B suppose 33. Okay. We know that A and B both are equal, but Python is some kind of a machine, so Pythons don't know what exactly the A and B. So that's why we have to set the decision statement here. Okay, let's start with the if. So your statements is always start from the if and end with the else. So if A is greater than B, so I just want to print this message. Hi. So welcome to this webinar. If A is greater than B. Okay. Okay. Now let's go with the elif now, because we have to set one more condition. So if A is equals to B. So what is equals to is equals to? Meaning is this is called a equality operators. Okay. In the Python, we can call it equality operators. So we have three categories in the equal. Single is equals to sign, double is equals to sign, and triple is equals to sign. Both are same. The functionalities of all the equality operator is same. So there is no difference. So print this, yeah, print, I want this message. I love to eat burger. Let's see. So here we have two statements and two print statements. Okay. First condition is A is greater than, so A is greater than B and A is equals to B. Let's see. So we got the hi, I love to eat burger. Meaning is if A is 33 and B is 33, so meaning that this condition is correct. So as per the statement of the elif, if the previous statement is false, so we can go with the next statement. So that's why we got this output. Okay. So the next statement, last but not the least, in the conditionals, called an else statement. Okay. So this is fixed. If execute true, else is false. Okay. So the keyword is simple called else. Okay. Now let's see. Again, one quick example here. Okay, again, we need two variables. Suppose z is equals to 12, and c is equals to, again, 12. Let's make this one pretty simple. Okay, so is a is greater than, if z is greater than c, again, I just print, good morning. I want to just print this message. If this condition satisfy, come to the elif. If c is more than z, so in that case, again, let's go with this condition. If z is equals to c, so in this one, I just need to print good afternoon. Now coming to the else one. So, but in the else, only you have to mention the keyword, not a condition, because this written only false condition. So print both are equal. Let's run it. See, we got the statement here, both are equal. Meaning is this condition is false. Again, the elif condition is false. If both the condition is false, meaning is we have a helping hand called else to get to return the true statement. So that's why we have got the output. So this is called conditional statements or decision-making statements in the Python. Okay. So this is the way how Python decide how to set the decisions in multiple programs. Great. So the project time. So the question is, write a program to print the given number, even or odd. Mathematics question. Now we are going to solve the mathematics question using Python. Okay, let me just tell you a fun fact. If you just want to become a Python expert, okay, so in the Python, they're kind of a 60 to 70% is maths, okay, and 30% is the coding, because the reason we can, so we are trying to just solve the mathematics problem using coding, okay, because we have multiple technologies, more technologies we have, like for example, we have artificial intelligence, okay, we have machine learning, we have NLP, okay, so multiple programming languages we have. So the thing is, how can you solve, okay, how can you design the entire structure, okay. So for example, so I think so you are you are familiar with one technology we have called AI, right? Artificial intelligence. How my computer is going to recognize my sound or recognize my speech? So that is a part of the coding. Okay, we need to set the words. Okay, we need to set the library. Okay, we have to set the entire code. Some equations we need to solve it. Okay, so that's why the maths is compulsory. Okay, we have just basic maths, not our in-depth basic maths we require to just design the Python. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so again, if you just want to become a Python expert, just with us, so just like this video and just hit the subscribe button. So now it's a code time. So we'll do one thing. Let me just share my screen again. And here we have to find out how can you find out the even number or odd number. Okay, let's go to the basic maths first. What are the even numbers? Even numbers are divisible by 2, that are called even numbers. Divisible by 2 and remainder is 0, correct? And what are the odd numbers? Not divisible by 2, right? So even or odd numbers. So first we need a one variable. So suppose t. Now set the condition. So if the variable t, okay, is divisible by 2 and remainder is 0. This is the logic. Whatever the number you are just going to give to the Python, that number is divisible by 2 and remainder is 0. In that case, we have to print even numbers. Otherwise, what else? We can print odd numbers. Let's run the code. Okay, now Python is basically, let me just zoom it. 1 second. Yeah. So now we have to give a number to the Python. Enter any number. Okay, let's suppose I'm just going to enter 124. This is called an even number. How Python know 124 is a even? Because we set the logic. Okay, the divisible by 2, remainder is 0. That's why we just print the even number. Okay, let's check the another one. For example, 135, odd number. See, we can solve the real mathematics problem with Python. Okay, so this is the way how if, elif, and else works. Great. Now let's back to the main part. Okay, now we are going to come the project of the day. The project name is called a calculator. Okay, so we already know what exactly the calculator is. We can solve uh, basic problems like how can you add multiple numbers, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, how can you find out the percentage, okay, and square root, multiple things are there in the calculator. And we have multiple types as well, like a scientific calculator, analog calculator, digital calculator. So we have multiple varieties in the market, okay. But in this one, we are going to design the basic, okay. Like what exactly the thing is, we have some few conditions. I just want we have to press 1 to add two numbers. If you press 2, so we can subtract two numbers. If you press 3, so we can multiply two numbers. If you press 4, so then we can divide two numbers. Okay, so the problem is given to us. Now the thing is, how can you find out the solution? Obviously, we are going to compare the values, okay? But how? So let's make this one. Now, the thing is, again, we have to create a new replit. Now just look into my screen very carefully. So just move your mouse pointer on the left hand side of your screen. And here we are getting a one drop down arrow. You have to click here. Just click on the create button. Again, set the Python. Just mention the calculator code and hit the enter button. So we need to just wait. Great. Okay. So the first is we need to press 1 to add two numbers. Okay. Now I'm just going to change some few things. Subtract. So I'm using a short form and the multiply. Let's go with the full one. Now in the last one, divide. So we are going to press the 1 to add two numbers. We need to press 2 for the subtraction of two numbers. If we press 3 to multiply of two numbers, if we press 4 to divide two numbers. So the last one is press enter. Okay, so press enter to quit or exit the calculator. So I'm giving you one extra option. So this is completely based on the coders. If you want to enable more options, we can enable more options as well. Okay. So what is the first thing we need? Okay. We need a one variable to select the operator, what exactly the user want. Okay. So suppose I'm a software developer and you are the user. Okay. And so I'll just make the program simple. But what number you could just going to be assigned to the calculator? Okay. So first we are going to create a one random variable called a selection. Okay. Now input. So what is int? Int stands for integers. Okay. Input. Enter your selection menu. So this is your first variable. Now coming to the next step, we need numbers. Obviously, if you want to find out addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, so we need two numbers. So number 1, again integer, input, enter first number. Any random statement you can just mention over here. So now I'm just going to copy this, paste it here, change few things. Second, this is a number 2. Okay, let me just tell you one thing. Again, one fun fact. You know what is the difference between the programmer and the good programmer? We have programmers as well. We have a good programmers. You know, there's only one difference. Good programmers always use comments, like I'm using. Okay, so if you want to become a good programmer, mention the comments. Okay, let's go with the conditions now. If statement. Okay. So if your selection is 1, so what we have to do if your just selection is 1, if you press 1, then what we have to do? Add 2 numbers. Okay. So we need one more variable to find out the result. And here we have 2 variables, number 1 and number 2. So number 1 plus number 2. Now next one is go with the second one. Elif selection. If you press 2, then again same thing. Number 1 subtract by number 2, because in the 2 key I need a subtraction. Again Elif, because we have multiple results here. Selection. Suppose if you press 3, so I need to find out the result. Number 1 multiply by number 2. See, very important point. I'm using a star function here in the line number 70. So what exactly the star function is? A kind of a multiplication sign in the programming languages. Okay. So what you have to do in this one, you have to use the shift key, shift plus 8. If you get the star button. Okay, shift plus 8. Okay. Next one is we done with addition, we done with subtraction, we done with multiplication. Now last one is called division. So again selection is equals to 4. So again we need to declare one more variable called a result. So number 1 divide by number 2. Okay. Now come into the else. So we can print any random message here. Sorry. Please enter the correct values. Any random statement which you want to add. Okay. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll just show you the output first, then we can enable the enter option button as well. So let me just run this. Okay, enter your selection menu. Suppose 1. I have to just press 1. First number is 12. Second number is also 12. We are not getting the output. The program is correct till now. We select the menu, we enter the first number, we enter the second number, but something is missing. Okay, as I told you in the earlier as well, we have to use one syntax to get the output. And what exactly that output is? Print result. Now let's try again. Selection menu is 1. First number, second number. See, we got the answer. Okay, let's modify it. Your answer is, let's see. So I just added a random statement here. First one, 2, then 2. So your answer is 24. Okay, so addition is working. Now let's take the subtraction. Second, suppose 24 was the first number, second is 30. Let's see. Your answer is -6. Subtraction is also working. Now come into the third one. So third one is, if I'm going to press 3, so the multiplication, 12 into 12, 144. Now let's check for the divide. Fourth one, it's 90. Now in the second, I'll do one thing. I'll just give a long one value. This one. See, the Python is so smart. It's going to give a long calculation. Okay. So Addition is working, subtraction is working, multiplication is working, and the division is also working. Now, next is I just want to enable the one more option. If you press enter, so I just want to quit the calculator, meaning is exit the code or quit the code. Okay, so how can we do this? Input command. Okay, press enter to exit the calculator. Okay, let's check. 2 to 12 is 24. Okay, I just need to stop and just run it again. Menu is 1, 12, 12, 24. And if you have to press the enter, see. If you press the enter, so we can exit with the code. So this is your basic calculator. Okay. But if you want to design the bigger one, okay, for example, like if you want to find out the square root, okay, the modulus, if you want to find out the integration, differentiation, okay, so we can do that thing as well. Okay, we have an option because we are the software developers, so we can do that. Okay, so this is the kind of a basic statements like how can you use if and else statement, how can you use variables, how can you declare variables. Okay, so come back to the screen. So now this is your basically a homework. Okay, now here we have to print a calendar of the 2025. So easy. Okay, it's so easy. Only the thing is you have to declare variable with any random name, use the print statement, okay, and you can check your output. This is the only thing. Okay, so this is called Python. These are the initial topics like variables, okay, if and else statement, and we have many more. Okay, so if you're just going to if you just want to see how many topics we are just going to be covering the Python and what are the things, okay, we are usually just teaching to the kids as well. So you can just connect with us, or you can just hit the subscribe button and like this video. Okay. So in the beginning, as I told you, we have good news or we have exciting news for you. Okay. So I'm just going to call Agumani here. So Agumani, this space is yours.
Hi, sir. Hello, Mr. Ashish. That was a lovely session. That was really great. Thank you so much for all your insights and for teaching all the students how to code their own very own personal calculator, and also to talk to them and tell them about Python. All right, so everybody, hello again. My name is Agumuni, and I'll be telling you about the exciting surprise that we have today for you. So, as you know about us, about 98th percentile, but for those who do not know us, who are we? Well, we are an online e-learning company, and we teach children from grades 1 to 8. We teach them math and coding from the comforts of their home. We provide small group sizes, meaning and aiming to provide committed personalized attention for each student, for each child. Our teachers give on all their best and provide with the best learning to each child that they teach. And we also have live classrooms, meaning like we are talking right now, and like Mr. Ashish just taught you right now, all the classes from 98th percentile are live. You can get access to recorded classes as well, should you desire to. The best benefit about live classroom is that you get all your problems sorted in real time, and also that your parents can talk and speak to the teachers in real time as well. Isn't that just amazing? And another amazing part about 98th percentile is that we provide skill acceleration and mastery, meaning we fix skill gaps and focus on accelerating children a grade ahead in up to 6 months. There are plenty of benefits of joining 98th percentile. And here are just a few of them. To start with, as I said, we provide accelerated curriculum, meaning if you are in grade 4, for example, with 98th percentile, you'll very soon be able to learn and practice and perform questions and problems of grade 5 and so on. Also, since we are proactive and progressive in our learning material and module, children with 98th percentile do get their skill gaps from the previous grade eradicated. So if you are in a grade and you have skill gaps from the previous grade, 98th percentile ensures that all those skill gaps are eradicated. We have the best in the industry teachers who take care of all of that. With 98th percentile, you also get access to award-winning platforms and personalized learning as well. 98th percentile provides worksheets for children to practice anytime and anywhere. Also, in these trying economic times, we know how hard your parents work. So we are bringing you 8 times the value for your money. As compared to any other edtech out there, 98th percentile gives you 8 times the value for your parents' hard-earned money. Isn't that just amazing? But this is just me, a 98th percentile, talking about 98th percentile, right? But here are the amazing reviews that parents have showered on us on our Facebook and Instagram and also Google accounts. Parents have put in extreme faith with 98th percentile, and our teachers have completed and accomplished every one of them. We have the best in the industry teachers for math and coding in India, and our teachers patiently teach children and get them a grade ahead. You can read more about 98th percentile and our reviews from the link shared in the chat box. Moving forward, what's next, you ask? 98th percentile comes up with regular events, and next Thursday, you will be learning the secrets of mental math with our extremely dear teacher, Miss Natasha. And post that on January 26th, you will be learning to design a smart home using JavaScript. Moving forward, this is the event that is going to take place. Please note the time. The time and date will be January 19th, 2023. The time will be 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., just as it was before today. And this will be for grades 1 to 8. So Miss Natasha is going to teach extremely amazing speed math tricks to children. And also after that session, there will be exciting gifts waiting just for you children. Now it's the time that we have all been waiting for, time for the surprise gift, right? So this is an event only offer specially curated for all you lovely children. You can get up to 2 weeks of free trial classes in math or coding with 98th percentile. That's right, you'll get up to 2 weeks of free trial classes in math and coding with 98th percentile, and we do not ask for credit cards. So you should come and check us out and experience our best in the industry teachers' learnings that they offer. And this is first come, first serve, and you definitely need to try it to believe it. Well, that's all we have for you today. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel and also share it with your friends. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.